Hey guys, hope you're all having an amazing day. Today I'm going to be doing a Nightsister modding guide. This is a little bit different from some of the other sources you've probably seen, but I'm confident there's no better way to mod these guys in terms of PvP. It's also effective in GOTB. I grab an easy 4 out of 4 in P1 to P3. Also I'm getting at the moment roughly 3 out of 4 in the final phase, but it can vary depending on what compositions I meet. Also getting easy full solos with Anakin in P3 of the Sith Raid. And honestly, this technique gets me multiple defences in TW most of the time. I think my max was 12. And we're a 205 guild. So we're going up against strong opponents who've got Revans, Treyas, everything maxed out. The most important thing to know about Nightsisters is that before you have the Gear 12 Plus pieces on them, as well as your 6E mods, you can't really expect too much out of them. This team has one of the biggest boosts after you get to Gear 12, so if you're running them at Gear 11 or just base Gear 12, you're probably going to be better running an Assaj lead with Talzin, Daka, Zombie and Nest, because this full Nightsister lineup only works well with both optimal mods and the Gear 12 Plus pieces. The most important of these pieces are the ones that give the health boost, because this really helps them to hold out longer and stops them being such easy targets for the likes of Imperial troopers, as well as other Empire teams. With this setup, which is Talzin lead, Assaj, Daka, Zombie and Spirit, you're going to absolutely destroy any Jedi Knight Revan team as long as you follow the modding advice in this video. This is going to give you a lot more breathing room in those tight Grand Arena matches, where you've either placed your Jedi Knight Revan on defense and so is your opponent, or if you just really don't want to have to deal with the long drawn out mirror matches. You'll also be able to easily kill off the likes of Traya or any of the other B-class teams like Bossk, Old Republic, etc. The main thing I would still avoid at this point is probably Padme, Darth Revan and General Grievous. I haven't had much chance to do testing against these teams, but from what I've seen, Nightsisters will generally struggle in these scenarios. That being said, I have heard some rumours that Nightsisters at full Gear 13 can in fact be even Darth Malak, but I can't confirm or deny this until I see some evidence or I can get a chance to test it out myself, which I'm really looking forward to because Gear 13 Nightsisters are my personal goal at the moment. But overall, let's just be honest, having another Jedi Knight Revan counter that so far for me at least has been 100% reliable is pretty awesome, and I hope you can all find similar success with it once you have put in the work into your own Nightsisters. Alright, let's get started. First up we have Talzin, who's going to need both Hazetas for this team to work. You've got the first one, which is the Great Mother, and basically once you've got dead Nightsisters, whenever another one of your Nightsisters uses a basic, it's going to revive one of the dead sisters and call it to assist for one turn, and then it's going to die again. Now while this is amazing in itself, the main purpose of this is to coordinate with Daka and Assaj's uniques, where Daka gains max health every time a Nightsister ally is revived, and Assaj gains offense. So whenever someone's been revived to assist, it's actually going to make Daka a lot more tankier and it's going to make Assaj hit a lot harder. Now this in turn will make the team a lot more effective against Jedi Knight Revan and anything else it faces. Now the main Gear 12 Plus pieces on Talzin are going to be this one, not as much but still important, and this one. As you can see, these are the pieces that have got the big health boosts, and because Talzin's such a common target to kill first, having this extra health is really going to help us survive more. And the others are great to have too, but the health on all of the Nightsisters is the most important thing to go for. Now obviously I would say Daka and Zombie should be a priority for this health, but if you can got enough supplies to put it on all of them, then that should be the main priority. Alright, let's look at the stats I've got on my Talzin. We've got 46,000 health, which is probably the best I can get in the way I'm trying to modder for more offense capabilities. We've got a respectable speed of 247, 113 from mods, plus 30 from her lead as well. So this is going to be about 277 speed. We've got 70% potency, which is alright, but it's not, potency is nothing to worry about. I wouldn't even think about it because her lead gives plus 50%. A Gear 12 Plus, her potency base is 50%, so no matter what happens, you're always going to have 100% potency with her. But the main stat I tried to work on outside of speed is her offense, because I wanted to be able to hit really hard, because that plague from the second ability, Dark Magic, if we can get that off and proc people under 50% health as fast as possible, she could basically get another turn, and this in turn speeds her up a lot faster. and lets the plague get off a lot more often, and he's less likely to be healed away by the other team. Alright, now let's look at the mods themselves. We've got the offense square, obviously. 21 speed. I've gone for bonus offense on it as well, because I want it, obviously, as I said before, I want to try and get as much damage as possible, but the trick is to try and find a good balance. You don't want her to be slow and just offense for this. She does need speed. If we look at the diamond, I think I've gone for the same thing. Yeah, I couldn't really find an offense secondary based on what I had, so I went for speed, and obviously I got a bit of potency out of it and a little bit of health. The potency is irrelevant, but I think for the new GOTB, I'm starting to think potency might be a little bit more relevant than we think. This is where it gets a bit more important. For all of the Nightsisters, you're going to want health primaries over protection. I cannot stress this enough. Protection on Nightsisters is useless, because once they die and they come back, they're going to come back with full health. Protection's gone at this point. So if you're going to be using your Nightsisters to keep reviving them and prolonging yourselves in battles, health is really going to give the most benefit. There's absolutely no circumstance where I can really say that protection would be more beneficial, unless maybe we're talking about non-6E mods, but for this team to even work, you need the 6E mods anyway, so I'm not really taking that into account. As before, we've got a bit of offense, we've got some decent speed. Alright, let's have a look at the cross. Offense cross primary. I like this personally. A lot of people run potency, but as I said earlier on, I find this kind of useless because she's already got over 100% potency. There's not many teams that have tenacity higher than that, unless they have tenacity up, and at that point it's pointless anyway. I've got a little bit of health on this. Again, I could not find an offense primary with the numerical offense secondary, so I just went for speed mainly. On the triangle, we went for offense again. There's an argument often between offense and crit damage, and this is pretty common in the community. But for someone like Talzin, who doesn't really have that much critical chance naturally, I'm pretty confident in saying offense is the way to go. And especially with the secondaries as well, we've got a little bit more offense, unfortunately a little bit more potency. Again, it's not really a problem, but it's not really that beneficial either. We've got speed, and for the arrow, your standard speed arrow, I did deliberately seek out one with high offense on. Now the thing with 6E mods is, another little tip, when you've got the percentage of a stat, so look at this one here, 4.1% offense, when you take a mod to 6E, this gets a massive increase compared to the usual number ones, which only get a small boost. So usually people will tell you to ignore the percentage and go for the numerical, but when 6E is involved, I actually try and look more at the percentage mods because I often end up with a better boost. In terms of the set bonuses themselves, I've obviously gone for offense, and I went for health for two reasons. One, because my mods diversity isn't that great when it comes to crit chance mods. I've got some, but they're usually occupied by more important teams, like my meta teams, like Jedi Revan. And honestly, I quite like health on Talzin, because I've noticed a lot of the time she's targeted down pretty quick. So having that little extra bit of health has saved me a lot of times. Alright, let's see who's up next. Okay, let's look at Nightsister Zombie. As before, there's no Zetas with her, so there's nothing you need to be worried about there. You want to try and get this piece, and this one here, because of the health. Now, for Nightsister Zombie, health is really important, because a lot of the time, Imperial Troopers are going to focus her down, and try and get the boost by killing her. And if you can prevent this from happening off the bat, you've got a much better chance of making a comeback and destroying the opposing team on defense. For speed, because of the specific way I've modded her, I've only managed to get 102 speed. The speed is pretty important on her, but because I'm using a crit avoidance arrow to help her survive even better, getting 102 speed was pretty tough. I've also got 58,000 health, and these are the only two stats that really matter with her. You don't have to worry about anything else. Let's look at the actual mods themselves. Personally, I've gone for 2 health and 1 defense set. This was simply because I could not find another health set for the triangle and cross that had the primary and secondary that I wanted. So I went with a defense set. But if you can get free health with the primaries I'm about to show you, that is going to be way better than what I'm running. So let's look at the square. We've mainly just looking at speed. A little bit of health's nice. If we look at the diamond, we've got speed again, a bit of protection. Not important, but nice to have. Remember what I said about Talzin, we want primary health always. We've got 19 speed, that's all that matters. Same with the cross, we're looking at health across the board with Nightsister Zombie. There's nothing else. If you can get a bit of secondary health as well, and obviously you're going to want speed, because when she takes a turn, she gets the Endless Horde buff, which gives her plus 50% speed. So if you can get this on twice without her dying, she's basically going to be double as fast as her base speed. So if you've got a 220 speed Nightsister Zombie, if you've managed to keep her alive to have the 2 stacks, she's going to have roughly 440 speed, which is pretty mental when you think about it. The triangle's pretty much the same as before. Health, bit of speed. This is where things get a little bit interesting, is when we look at the arrow. Now, I've gone for a crit avoidance arrow. This is one of my main secrets with Nightsisters. I feel that a lot of teams that are going after Nightsisters really rely on crit chance, such as Imperial Troopers rely on it to get most of their damage. And even teams like Jedi Revan will crit a lot. So having this 35% critical avoidance really helps keep your zombie alive longer, and lets her cause more problems for the enemy team trying to get around her. Now, the important thing for this is you don't want to be losing too much speed, so it's really important that you can get a secondary speed on it. Now, I did struggle to do this for a while, but I did have luck twice, and one is on Daka, and this is my slower one. But it does the job just okay. I'm still looking to improve it, but I've got more important things to be looking at the moment, as you'll see in the video. I do have a few mods that are off, but I am working on this as we speak. Alright, let's have a look who's up next. Okay, out of all of them, I'd say Spirit is the least important in terms of the 6E pieces and modding. Not to say she's not important, but I would prioritise all of the others before her. You've got your regular health pieces. I'll try and get these done. I think I need the stun gun for someone here, but I am trying to get this done personally. Now, if we look at the stats, we've got 108 speed. This is probably about the bare minimum, is 100 speed. I've just got over that, but I'm probably going to try and do a little bit better in the future. Her offense is alright. Again, this isn't at the level I want it to be, but it works perfectly for everything I need it to do right now, so I'm not too concerned about that. Let's have a look at her mods. Similar to Talzin, we've gone for mainly an offense setup. We've got 19 speed on here. I couldn't find any secondary offense, but because it was so fast, I just went for it anyway. On the diamond, 23 speed. This is one of my faster mods. I did try and get her fast because she's naturally pretty speedy. So if we can get her to go off pretty early, we can usually remove a taunt off someone annoying, or get a stun on someone that's going to cause problems in the battle. Again, health on the primary. This is probably one of my worst mods in terms of speed, but I went with it because the offense is really high. And that means she's going to hit a lot harder, which is going to really help her to help out the team more and get that DPS out of there while Assaj is charging up. And we got the cross, we went for offense on here, of course. We got a bit more speed. Bloody hell, 10% defense. Well, it's better to have it than to not. We've got offense a little bit as well. I'm a little bit unsure about my own personal triangle here. I don't think the speed is fast enough to justify me 6E'ing it yet. I'm going to keep looking, but I might end up just doing it. But overall, with Nightsister Spirit, there is an argument of using crit damage primary over offense. Now, because she is naturally quite high crit chance, this could be a viable way. I personally prefer offense because I've built this team mainly to go up against Jedi Revan, and I find that offense does a lot more when I'm trying to kill Jolie because he has really high crit avoidance from his unique. So I just have better experience overall with offense, so I decided to stick with this. And for the arrow, we've got just standard speed. We went for a bit of offense. I did try and get a percentage, but 101 offense is nothing to laugh at, so I'm quite happy with that. In terms of the set bonuses, I found with her I did want that crit chance because she doesn't have a high natural crit chance. So if we can get some critical hits, then it's going to help her get the damage out there more than running something like a health set. Because she's pretty squishy as it is, it's probably not going to do much for her in the first place. She gets a lot of foresight, which protects her from some of the damage. So I just went all out DPS on her, which I do think is the best way to mod your Nightsister Spirit. Alright, next I think we're going to be looking at Assaj. Yeah. Now, just a disclaimer, I know she's gear 13, but I do have one of the primaries on the mods wrong, so I'm hoping that makes up for it a bit. I've been running Assaj at gear 12 for a long time, and I've had the exact same results as gear 13. She hits a tiny bit harder, but I think it's roughly the same ratio as if I had the right mod and if it was 6E on the cross. so don't worry too much about that. In terms of the Zetas, we've got Rampage, which is probably one of the most important on the team. Stacking offense when our guys die. So that means each time a Nightsister dies and revives, as I mentioned earlier, even if it's just for one turn from the Talzin lead, Assaj is going to be getting stacking offense, critical chance, and even a little bit of max health. In terms of a leader, you don't need it for the main team, but if you want to be doing mirror matches, if you're going up against Mother Talzin lead and you run an Assaj lead, you could probably auto it a lot of the time. It's a really easy win and an easy way to deal with other strong Nightsister teams that you're worried about fighting. Now in terms of the stats, we've got 110 speed, could be a little bit better but it does the job. She gets a bit more speed from her unique and Talzin's lead of course, so she's a lot faster than she appears and will usually go first. Offense is important, but I haven't been able to focus that because I'm struggling with crit damage and crit chance sets with high speed at the moment, so I've really focused on that. But if you can get both, your Assaj is going to be absolutely deadly. If we look at the mods themselves, we've got the standard stuff, speed, bit of crit chance to help those crit hits get off more on other characters that don't have the crit avoidance. On the diamond we've got speed again, a lot of health on the percentage and numerical as well, and a bit of offense. That is probably the perfect mod because it's got 4 really good secondary stats and a high speed. Same with the circle, primary health as always. We've got a bit more crit chance, a little bit of health and a high speed. That is absolutely perfect. This is the mod I was talking about a minute ago. I cannot find an offense primary for a cross right now that has crit damage or even crit chance. Obviously, you're going to want to be running that. I'm running this now just because I can't find one. So go for offense, 6E, and you'll do a lot better with your Assaj. In terms of the triangle, you want critical damage. Another problem I have is finding crit damage primaries with high speed seems to be a lot harder than almost anything else. So I've just accepted that I've gone for plus 10 speed with the right primary. And in terms of the arrow, we've gone for the similar thing with the other arrows. We've got 32 speed from the 6A, a little bit of extra secondary offense, which really helps the damage again. And in terms of the sets, we've gone for crit chance, crit damage. This is because Assaj gets a lot of offense anyway, so being able to have that extra multiplier when she crits a lot really helps the damage stay out there and grow throughout the battle. Okay, I think we've got one more to look at now. Let's have a look. Our old Daka, how can I forget that? Okay, for Daka, health is absolutely vital. There is no other character that is more important. Now, I do have gear 13 on her. I've done this very recently. On the gameplay footage I'm about to show you in a few minutes, my Daka is still gear 12, so you don't need to take this into account too much. But the increase to gear 13 on Daka's health is so amazing. If you're going to do any of them, I would do her, because my Daka now has over 80k health. Now in terms of Zetas, old Daka's Zeta is actually really helpful because when the Nightsisters have been revived, it gives her max health stacking, now even more so with gear 13, but even at gear 12, this makes her a lot more tanky, and later on in the battle, she's going to be extremely hard to kill. And usually with Daka, as long as you can keep her alive, the rest of your Nightsister team isn't going to really go anywhere. And in terms of the stats, I have gone for speed. Same thing with Zombie. I have struggled a little bit to get really high speed because I run a critical avoidance arrow. Potency is nice to have on her, but for the same reason as Talzin, it's not that important. I'd just say get it where you can. I mean, she's got no... My Daka has no potency on her, but because of the Talzin lead, she's got 105% potency. And in about 90% of circumstances, she does get her stuns off. If we look at the mods themselves... With Daka, I have tried to focus mainly on speed and health, but speed on the secondary, I've focused a little bit more than health. We've gone for the traditional free health sets with her. I could have done that with Zombie using some of these mods, but I felt it was more important on Daka. So we've got 18 speed on the square. We've got 20 speed on the diamond, as well as a 3% health boost, which is really nice. On the circle, we've gone for the health primary, speed... A little bit of tenacity is going to be a little bit useful as well, but I wouldn't worry too much about the other secondaries. In terms of the cross, we've got health again. Again, do not use potency on her. Health is more important. A little bit of speed, 15, that's not too bad. And the rest of the secondaries aren't amazing, but they do the job. And on the triangle, we've got, again, health, 14 speed, a little bit of defense, which is nice. I couldn't find health again, so we went for defense on the secondaries. Now, similar to Zombie, we've got the critical avoidance arrow. Now, this one's a little bit faster than hers because my Daka was falling behind a little bit, and 99 speed isn't really enough for me. I would have wanted at least 110, but again, she does the job, so I'm happy with it for now. As I mentioned before, the sets, health, health, health. 3 health sets is going to put a really high health, so she's a lot harder to kill. As I mentioned before, with Daka, if she's alive, the team is most likely just going to revive. Even if you lose everyone else, if Daka's alive, you can just press that revive button and the entire team's ready to go again. Alright, so now I'm going to actually show you some gameplay of them in action against Jedi Revan. We've got 287 speed on their Jedi Revan, which is pretty average. Yoda is modded, looks like for offense, he probably won't be too fast. Yeah, I didn't think so. Just to let you guys all know, this is all pre-recorded footage and the quality isn't amazing. This is because I had some technical difficulties. I'm still learning how to do this, but for next time I should be able to get the recording done in 60 FPS fully. Alright, let's begin. Alright, so he's going to open up his marked spirit, which is fine. We're not going to dispel just yet because we want to wait for Bastila to give Yoda the buffs. Okay, we're going to keep focusing down Yoda. It's to the mass assist. It's fine. We want to try and proc Saviour on Yoda as fast as possible. And then keep Yoda dead and try our best to get Jolie out of there as fast as possible. GK is going to be an annoyance, but because you don't crit Jolie much, he's not going to taunt that much later on in the battle. It's just a little bit of annoyance at the start. There we go. That's all the buffs gone. That really makes things easier. Let's just keep working on Grandmaster Yoda. And he's healed him up. Spirit's dead again, which is fine. I actually prefer it when Spirit dies, because then we can just keep getting the assists and stacking up the health and offense on Assaj. When anyone else dies, sometimes I feel a little bit cautious about keeping them dead for too long, because we really do need most of them alive. But with Spirit, she's not that vital, so it's sometimes nice to have her dead. Okay, so Yoda's going to go at it again. Oh. Okay, see, GK just wasted his mass assist then, which is great. And we want to bring us Talzin back. Do the mass assist, maybe get a tenacity down. Nope. Okay, we can dispel the stun there. That is the one thing that Spirit is really good for. Watch the turn meter go down. Okay, we've finally got Saviour done. So now we can try and stun Jolie. And focus down Yoda one more time. And then hopefully start working on Jolie properly. Okay, let's do that. Everyone's got critical avoidance now. I'm not sure if that's bad or good. Bit of both, I think. Okay, so let's do that. That's Yoda out of there. Okay, now we're free to really focus down Jolie. If we're really lucky, I think I might have got a stun in this battle. Nice, come back to full health, that's fine. It doesn't really matter what they do. I'm not really in any danger at any point during this fight. Like, no matter what happens, I've done battles where Daka's been marked, Talzin's been marked, Assaj has been marked. It really doesn't matter of the outcome. I've won every single time since I've finished the modding on these. I've got 100% win rate. I haven't lost once. I haven't even come close to losing once. And now this should get rid of Jolie. And there he's gone. Now at this point there's really zero threat. You can just pretty much do what you want. You could probably put it on auto and still win. But it's just a matter of killing GK. And then killing off Revan and Bastila. But I find that kill order is the most effective way to get it done at a speed that's respectable. Because a lot of people can do this, but they do struggle with timing out. But that shouldn't be an issue if you keep Yoda dead and then get Jolie out of there as fast as possible. Alright, I'm going to show you another battle now. I think this Revan's a lot faster than the other one that I fought. Yeah, 314 speed. So that's going to be a lot more towards the top end of Jedi Knight Revan teams you're going to be facing. This guy seems to have gone for speed on Yoda as well. It's not perfect. The mods are a bit off, but it's still going to be pretty accurate. Alright, it's loading. Okay, so marked spirit again. Let's try and go after Yoda straight away. This one's a little bit more resistant. Nice stun. Remove some buffs. Should have waited for Bastila, but just wanted to keep going on Yoda. Okay, that's Spirit dead. Going for Talzin. Oh, that's great. It's always good when you get a stun on GK, because it helps slow down the retribution getting out there, which is good at the start of the fight. Okay, Yoda's going mad again. Yeah, I should have waited for that dispel. At least we can get around GK now. Try and get a little bit of plague out there, I think. Yeah. Okay, tenacity down. Another mark on spirits. She's dead now. Now, at least this time I can really show the benefits of keeping spirit dead. You get a lot more faster on the stat gain on Assaj and Daka. And it doesn't really affect the fight. I honestly think it makes it a lot better to have one of them dead. Let's see now. Yeah, Spirit's come back to life because she actually killed someone on the hit. But now we're free to go after Jolie, and he's stunned as well. Okay, tenacity. No tenacity down. That's a shame. Let's get some plague going. Okay, Talzin's dead. We can leave her dead a little bit or not. Okay, let's keep going for Jolie. Counter-attacks are so annoying, but it's usually once you get to Talzin's big assist and you got a clear shot, Jolie's usually dead at that point pretty easily. So now we've got Assaj back. Yeah, this should kill him off. Yeah, one shot, that's amazing. Okay, so now as last time, it's really easy at this point. You just keep going. I think if I remember rightly, actually I do lose some of my sisters. So it's a good way to show that no matter how many are dead, I think I even lose Daka. But even with Daka dead, it's not a big deal because you can always bring her back. You've got the Talzin third ability, which if it kills someone, is a full revive for your team. And if you kill someone with a basic and the assisting sister kills them, then that sister will come back to life. Yeah, I think I do lose Daka here actually. There we go. So as you can see, I've lost the main two Nightsisters. I know it's not a dangerous situation in terms of who's alive, but it just shows how the team really can flow better, even when someone's dead. Well, that's everything you need to know about how to take Nightsisters to their absolute best. Once I have the team gear 13, I'll probably make another video if I have any luck beating Malik teams. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions about Nightsisters or anything else with SWGOH, please feel free to leave a comment or join my Discord server, which is linked in the description. If you have any suggestions for future content, please get in touch. I'm thinking about doing some coverage on how to max out your combat waves in TB, what teams do best, but let me know if you want to see anything else beforehand. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you all soon.